if you are on my, give everybody a few minutes to get on here while I'm waiting on y'all. All right, and I'm back. If you on my TikTok, you've already seen me talk about this for a second, or on my Facebook group, but the 3 minutes of TikTok is just not enough time to really get into this subject. I know y'all don't have a lot of time, but we got some more BS going on. And we got to recognize when these things happen. Now, before I start, definitely want you to subscribe to the pages, hit them thumbs up buttons, all that kind of stuff. But let me tell you, this video, I'm not angry with white people, not angry with Asian people, anything like that. I'm gonna be angry. What I'm angry with is black people. We gotta wake up, because we keep looking for this government to be our benefactor. This government is not gonna benefit you. And in order for this government to recognize that black people are part of, for the people, by the people, that we're all created equal and all that, and other people get to enjoy, we got to take it upon ourselves. So let's break it down. Juneteenth, June 19th. Last Union soldiers show up in, I believe, Galveston, Texas, and they inform the slave owners there, the plantation owners, that the 13th Amendment has passed and that slavery has been abolished in America. Now, one, I hate when people say they informed them, right? Because they weren't informed. They literally have to force, through military action, these fine old plantation owners to free their slaves. No slaves were free. We ended chattel slavery in America. It was June 19th. Now, since June 19th is the day in Texas they started a celebration called Juneteenth. It's grown in its popularity across America to the point where an old lady walked, right? Yep, we keep falling for it. And I'm getting to that one. I'm getting to it. Old lady walked from Texas to the Capitol, getting people to sign petitions to join in for have a Juneteenth as a federal holiday. That's all fine and well. That's all fine and well. Good afternoon, Adrian. That's all fine and well. She walked, she did the thing that she wanted to do. Nothing against anybody who wanted to do that. Nothing against anybody who celebrates Juneteenth, you know. But our people have greater things about us than slavery, for first of all. We don't have holidays. What holidays celebrate black people? Memorial Day was originally set up as a holiday that black people recognize black Union soldiers who fought in the Civil War. That's been compromised. That's been westernized. It's now about barbecues and all that sort of thing. It's lost any meaning to black people. What we got, Dr. King? That's our holiday? Nah. What's up, Reddick? Reddick and Deidre. So, the Senate unanimously passes a bill to make Juneteenth a federal holiday in America. Yay! All right. Let's see. We march. George Floyd happens, we march. Trayvon happens, we march. We do all this marching for a holiday. And what they say is that for all your marching, we're not going to unanimously pass or even pass a George Floyd crime bill. Now, We're not going to unanimously pass laws to get rid of voter suppression. We're not going to unanimously pass an anti-lynching bill. And we know who lynching happens to, me and you. We're not going to pay any, let's just say we get rid of the reparation aspect from a union general promising reparation, because it wasn't Congress or Senate or the president, there wasn't Abraham Lincoln that promised reparation. It was a union general who doesn't have that kind of power. Can't even pay reparations to the families of Tulsa who were burned, bombed, the 300 families that were murdered, 300 people that was murdered. No reparations for Tulsa. They haven't gotten reparations for their families. The black families that were burned and ran out of Charleston, the ones here in Lake Lanier, those families who was drowned out. We can't get reparations for that, but we're going to get reparations to the Japanese American citizens who was in internment camps. We can't get a bill passed for all, or police reform for all the black men and women who are shot and killed and murdered by police officers. We can't get that passed. Right. You won't be marching anywhere because they don't respect. No, they don't respect marching. Let me tell you why they don't respect marching. Let me get to it. We can't get nothing like that passed. But a white dude go and shoot up here in Atlanta, shoot up some Asian nails, a massage parlor, nails parlor. I think it was a nail salon. Go shoot that up. A couple of other anti-Asian events happen. The Asian people, nothing against them, they should go get it. They went and got them a Asian hate crime bill. They got that established. It's Pride Month. Gay people got anti-gay legislation. That get passed. But yet and still, the black people who've been brutalized for centuries in this country, we can't get an anti-lynching law. We can't reform the police. Why is that? Did the Asians march? Were they marching in droves for months and months and months on months and months and months and years on end? Boycotting, doing all these things in order to get their bill passed? No, they didn't have to. They didn't have to do that. We march. We have little pissant boycotts that we claim to be real. They ain't real. But we get nothing. We get a holiday that everybody will get that day off, and it'll get turned in. Juneteenth will get turned into a barbecue with some beer. You're gonna see like the beer companies are gonna have Juneteenth commemorative cans. You're gonna see, the soda companies, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, having Juneteenth commemorative cans. You're gonna see your grocery store, Walmart, having Juneteenth decorations for your barbecue and your concerts and celebrations. It's going to turn into a money grab for American businesses. Now, Andre, you hush up. You're getting ahead of me. Andre says on Facebook is because our economic status in this country, we are basically not citizens. We just reside here, and that's the problem. Economically, we're not citizens here in America. You go into almost any Asian-dominated community, and this is why the Asians got theirs passed. What do you see? Who owns the majority of the homes in those communities? Who owns the majority of the businesses in those communities? It ain't white people. It ain't black people. It ain't Latin people. It's Asian people. They own their community. So who determines the school systems and the politics in their community? They do. And it's so widespread across America that when they say we're going to have an anti-Asian crime bill, guess what they get? They get their anti-Asian hate bill. They get their bill. If the Latin community joined up right now, because the Latin community, you go into a Latin community, they own the majority of the homes in their community, they own the majority of the businesses in their community, right? And I was going to get there. Static says, not only that, but the Asians have China to back them. I'm going to get there. because they do. The Chinese diaspora is huge around the world. They got backing from a mother country. We don't have that. Whether you do the out of Africa, slave trade, indigenous people, however you do it, we have no government that backs us. We don't have a secondary government that backs us here in America. All we got is America. And here's the thing. Don't think I'm about to sit here and bash everybody. Nah. Say that the white man or the government need to do this or that. Riddick and Deidre said money is behind it for the corporations. We are owning capitalism to this country. And we have to leave in droves. And see, we can leave. Y'all know in the next 5 years I'm out. I'm gonna put my businesses up and I'm out. And I'm gonna go do business in an African country that's ran by black folks. Right? Doesn't matter. I don't care if it's indigenous, we indigenous here, or we slave trade, or out of Africa migration. I could care less. I'm looking at what's going on today. And you've already been seeing it on this channel, but you're gonna see it even more so. You go into a Spanish community, they own the businesses, they own the land, they own the homes. But if you go into a black community, who owns the houses? The majority of people in the black community are renting. And I'm not overly opposed to renting. I rent most of the time. But I'm in the process of buying a home right now. In the movement of buying a house right now. But in our black communities, we don't own our homes. So we're not taxpayers. In the black community, the majority of businesses are owned by big box companies that's ran by white people, Caucasians, or it's Asian companies, or it's Indian companies, which is also Asian, or it's Spanish companies, or Jewish companies. The majority of companies in the black businesses in the black community are not owned by black people. So the black dollar is not circulating in that black community. Therefore, we have no economic power other than we are consumers, right? The funny thing about black people are going to become ecstatic about it. This is what I find upsetting. Right, black people are going to be. They're happy about it. Oh, we got Juneteenth. They recognizing us. Recognizing you not being a slave no more. When you're still an economic slave, an educational slave. Nah. And a spiritual slave too. Y'all know my channel. I'm a spiritual slave. So, because I want to get to the meat of this before a customer comes up. Customer comes up, I got to walk away for a little bit. The only way we change this comes in different parts. Part number one, right? We have to own the homes in our neighborhoods. And the thing that I said in a different video yesterday, talking about something different, but I did touch on this subject, is that there is absolutely zero reason why, if your desire is to own a house, that in the next 3 years, you can't own a home, right? But most don't have the patience to do it. Symbolism, politics, hence why we celebrated Kamala. Right, celebrating this woman. Kamala don't care nothing about y'all. Neither does Joe Biden. We have to own the homes in our neighborhood. 3 years, every person can own their own home. I'm gonna give you the basics of how that happens. The first thing is you gotta fix your credit. Fixing your credit is not that damn hard. Last year at this time frame, because I loaded up my credit cards to open up Uncle Renz popcorn, but within 6 months my credit score was back into the 720s, 714, 728, and 720. Took 6 months because I had a car note that I was paying on time. I had a good credit mix. I had a credit card with below 30% usage rate. And that's all you gotta do. Get your credit cards 30% below the usage rate. Join a credit union. Do a shared loan. And then let that give you a line of credit Go to your credit union. You got to be in a credit union to do this. Go to a credit union, get you a shared loan, let that build your credit. That'll give you 30 to 50, 30, 50, 80 points right there. Pay off your collections. Get a pay to delete letter from your collection companies and pay that shit off. Then get you higher end credit cards. Start walking around with these $500, $300 credit cards. But if you're starting out at the bottom, then go ahead, get you a secured card. But you got to make financial decisions that's going to lead you into buying your house. Y'all sitting up here just keep going day to day trying to buy some damn tennis shoes and go clubbing and all the time. You got to sacrifice some stuff sometimes, right? In order for me to buy a house right now, I'm making some sacrifices that I don't really want to make, but I'm making them, right? I'm also opening up a cigar lounge, all right? Building up my economics, but you got to do something. You got to change your financial status. If your total household income is $50,000, then y'all have got to lower your financial burden, get your credit cards lowered, get you a car note so that you build your credit. And you can have your credit up 100 to 200 points in the next 12 months just by doing that. If you go to coachrenz.com, right, there's a book you can buy that tells you exactly everything you would need to know based on your situation of how to fix your credit. At coachrenz.com, go to the store, Financial Alchemy. But you got to fix it. You got to be patient enough and focused enough to go and get it done. Right? Adrian said his credit score went up 15 points in 6 months. And it depends on what you got going on, because you can make your credit score go higher, much higher than that in 6 months. It can go much higher than that. He said finger hut help. Places like that, if your credit score is like, I make people and their credit score be like 300s, 400s. You got to start with the small stuff that got high interest. Yeah, that's you have to start there, but you got to build up. You can't miss payments and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and everybody's situation is different. So one, you got to build your credit. Two, get that book. It'll help you. And no matter what your situation, it's got everything for every situation. Number two, as far as getting a house, you got to save at least 10% of what you make. You have to save at least 10% of what you make. Because in order to get a house, all you really need is a credit score of 580. A 580 credit score. If you cannot get a 580 credit score in the next 12 months, you don't deserve to participate in the building of the community. You don't. You just don't. If you can't get the 580 in a year. And one of the important reasons why you got to be at 580, because anybody can get a FHA loan at 580 credit score. You will have to have 3.5% down of whatever the value of that house. So if it's a $100,000 house, you got to have $3,500. If you have a household income of $5,000 a month, of $50,000 a month, then you will be able you'll be able to save $5,000. $5,000 will get you. You'll be able to get you an FHA loan. Adrian says that I'm trying to get 640 so I can get an FHA loan. All you need is 580, but at 620, your down payment will be lower. So if you want a $200,000 house, that's $7,500 that you got to have. If you want a $300,000 house, then that's $11,000 that you have to have. If you're making if your household income is $50,000 a year, then save 10%, and in 3 years you'll have $15,000, and you can go and get your house. Right? Oftentimes, we complain about how foreigners come to America and then they start buying their houses. How do you think they buying it? They saving their freaking money and getting their credit score up. Y'all want to sit up here and say, well, they get these grants and they get this and they get that. Shit, you got opportunity. You got first-time buyers program. You got down payment assistance programs. You got different ways that you can go get a house. But you know what you don't do? In the black community, we don't save 10% of what we make. If you're religious, you're giving it to your church. Now, if you're living in an apartment or renting a house and you've been giving 10% to your church and you haven't been taking that 10% and saving it for yourself to buy a house, then that's a problem. You ain't been taught right in that church. You've been taught incorrectly. Right, because they talking about that you're supposed to have wealth and abundance and all this sort of thing. But how can you have wealth and abundance if you giving the little bit that what you should be saving, you giving it away to somebody else? Where's your shaking up and running over? Your shaking up and running over will only come when you decide that you're going to take control of your finances. And most people in the black community are not taking control of their finances. They're allowing consumerism to drive them. And then they throw this holiday at y'all. Y'all get this holiday and y'all like, oh, we gonna celebrate Juneteenth. Oh man, we got MLK, we got Juneteenth. Woo, we got holidays. But they won't pass an anti-lynching. They won't pass a crime bill to reform, retrain, or redo, re-educate, give some morals to the police officers. They won't do none of that. Black communities that were burned out, bombed out, land stolen, you ain't gonna get any reparations. Y'all can let that shit go. They're not ever gonna give you that because you have no financial standing in this country. Because in our communities, the businesses and the homes are not owned by you. So we can own a house. In 3 years, every person in the sound of my voice and every person in the sound of your voice can own a house in their community. When you own the house and you're paying those taxes, now you can control the educational system in your community. You can control the police in your community. You can, because think about it. Black people are being shot by cops who are operating in black communities who don't live in that community, so they have no, and they don't feel any responsibility towards that community. So there is no reason for them to respect you. Just like the Senate and Congress, they ain't respecting you. Hey, can we get an anti-lynching law bill passed? Nah, but we'll give you a holiday. Ha! Falling for the okie doke. We don't do that. We got to buy a house. You got to own the land. Because when you control the politics in your community, and when you have financial standing in your community, then you get respected. This is why the Asian hate crime bill passed, because they have financial standing in their communities, and it's widespread. There's more of us in America than there are of them. Think about it. There are less Jewish people in America, way less than there are black people in America, but yet, because of their financial standings of owning their land, owning their businesses, they have power, and they own bigger businesses too. They have power. That's why they get what they want. And like I said, I'm not hating on them. I'm not hating on them at all. I think it's great that they were able to achieve that. The sad part is, our ancestors have been here all this time and cannot and have not achieved that. But we can change up that game. So the next thing, we have to begin to own the businesses in our communities and then support them. All right? Andre said they own total industries. Exactly, they sure do. There's no reason why black people should not own, say, the hair care business in the black community. Every hair care business in the black community, because we know people gonna go to the beauty salons. I mean, beauty salons and not the beauty salons, the beauty shops. They're gonna go there. Why is it that somebody else owns that industry in our community? It's because we have not taken those steps. I've heard the excuse so many times, well, they can get it cheaper. Well, now that's bull BS now. You can go to Alibaba and order the same stuff they order at the same price that they get it at. So there's no reason why you shouldn't own it. You should own it. Lock, stock, and barrel. I might have a customer. If I do, y'all just hold on for a minute. I ain't gonna take them long. My customers usually walk in and know exactly what they want. But there's no reason why we should not own industries, especially the ones that we spend our money on. And that's the first thing. Yeah, it's cool. I got a popcorn shop. That's not an industry that black people just are going to spend their money on. We have to own the ones that we know black people spend their money on. I love the fact I'm opening a cigar lounge, and here's the thing about it. In Atlanta and across America, black folks are smoking cigars left and right. It's an industry that we can get into, and we can have a large percentage of it at the retail level, and then later on at the grower and production level. But we don't. We don't. But we can. We can. So we have to make a concerted effort to own these businesses in our community. And let me hit this last part just in case somebody comes in, then we'll just continue. But I don't think this guy's coming to me. I think he's going to the computer guy next door. Regardless if you agree with the out of Africa, regardless if you agree with the slave trade or not, regardless if you agree with indigenous to America or not, at this stage of the game, it doesn't really matter. We have to join forces with those countries that are controlled by people who look like us, don't care if we came from there or not, who look like us, and have that true Pan-Africanism, that Pan-Caribbeanism. We have to do business with countries like Ghana, where the president of Ghana is saying that we ain't selling y'all no more of our cocoa, we ain't selling y'all no more of our gold, that we gonna refine all of our stuff ourselves, and you guys ain't getting it no more, and we're gonna build Ghana. That people like President Kagame over in Rwanda, who is kicking the Chinese out, who is building Rwanda for Rwandans, and is inviting, the black people to come there. Botswana, who's inviting black people to come there. Strong, stable countries. Regardless if we feel like we came from there or not, that is our only hope as far as having a mother country supporting us. And in this effect, we can have a mother continent, because more and more African nations are developing a Africa for Africans mindset. And stop with the, Africans don't like us. Ghana has programs that is literally giving land to black people who leave America, leave Europe, leave South America, and come back and come to Ghana. There's no reason why we can't be a part of that. But we have to establish that, because that Chinese diaspora has shown how well that works. To have a mother country that supports you, a mother country that got your back, a mother country economics outside of this one. Because we know the game here in America, right? Like Akon said, it's easier for a black man to go to Africa and establish a Fortune 500 company there than it is here in America. But some of us are so stuck with the BS that they've told us about Africa. We are so stuck with that mentality that we can't prosper. Your mind is keeping you from moving forward. Trying to hold on to a history that we can debate all day. And we can debate it. I don't care. All right? We can debate that all day. But unless you are doing something, a lot of my brothers in the Moorish community, yeah, it's cool. You get your Moorish identification, you get your flag, you get to talk to people however you want to, you get your social security card back into your possession. Yeah, that's cool. What business you building? What mother country do you have connection to? Yeah, you might build a little something here in this borough in New York, but what are you doing that's widespread? Nothing. Nothing that's impactful. Nothing that's impactful. You don't see the black Islamic community, like, for all the power that the Nation of Islam have, they are not utilizing that power to benefit black people as a whole. Sure, there are pockets where they are doing well and they are prospering and that. But when do they step up and create legislation? When? When have they stepped up and created legislation? When have they stepped up and forced Congress to recognize something, forced the Senate to recognize something? They haven't. All these organizations that are so-called leadership organizations right now, they're not doing anything. All these black churches talking about prosperity. Oh, prosperity, prosperity. They got you all waiting for manna to fall from heaven and thinking that you're just gonna get checks in the mail. And they may have that once a week little, oh, we're gonna have a how to buy a house this week, but they ain't doing it every week. But every week they're asking for that tithe. They ask for that tithe money every week. Every week. But do they tell you to support the black businesses in their church every week? They tell you, they show you how to buy the house in your community every week. How to change your economics of your school, the teachings of economics in your school, how to change the history taught in your school every week. No. Are they creating black unity in their community? No, they're not. They got you waiting on some afterlife in order to get yours. There's no benefit in that. There's no benefit in that. I can tell you that stuff every day, all day. I sat with a friend of mine, and we literally talked about how easy it is to start a religion, a religious movement, by promising things that people, promising non-tangible things to people, which is what every religion has created, a promise of non-tangible things, and for you to stay here as a suffering servant. And America, the American government recognizes that. That is what we are. We are suffering servants to America because we don't own our homes, we don't own the businesses in our community, we don't dictate law and order in our community. I went to a community meeting in East Atlanta Village, and I literally watched the people tell the police officers how they were going to patrol their community. You know why they could tell them? Because they own all the homes in that community. They own all the businesses in that community. So the police was there and listening, and then the next month they showed where they were improving on the things that they were told that they're going to do in that community. The only way we do that is to own it. To own it. So again, you got to buy the houses in your community. Fix your credit, because you know where you live. It's credit based. So you got to do what you got to do to buy the house in your community. Stop spending all your money. Develop a savings. You know, if you're, and I'm gonna tell you, if you're a veteran, you really have no excuse. All you got to do is fix your credit as a veteran, because as a veteran, you can get a VA loan with no money down. As a veteran, so there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of black veterans. And I will say a lot of veterans do already own their homes because they can take advantage of the VA and get that zero down loan. But we got to do more than just something that's zero down. You need to learn how to save your money. Even when I used to, when my wife, my first wife was Christian, and she wanted to give that 10%, I always told her, I ain't giving nothing if we ain't putting 10% in our own bank, in our own savings. It ain't gonna happen. I don't care what a book say. It's not going to happen. And we have to have that mindset that regardless of what your religious belief is, why give 10% for something that's not coming back to you tangibly if you can't save 10%? And every pastor, imam, priest should be ashamed of themselves for pushing that on their people, because they're not building a community. We deserve our anti-hate bill. And then here's the thing about that, after you get it. You have to enforce it. You see, when they went to, and they told them at Juneteenth that they were free, the plantation owners didn't want to hear it, so they had to force them through military action. Now, Dr. King and many other organizations, they forced a civil rights bill through financial actions. So do you understand what this government responds to? Military power and financial power. And we know we're not about to have any military action going on. The black people are not going to rise up and fight against the American government. We're not going to have a revolution. We're not there. We're not strong enough yet. It would take all it would take all people of color to come together. But see, the Asians not going to join in any military action because they're getting theirs. The Spanish are not going to join in military action. They're getting theirs. Only the 30, 40,000 million black people in America ain't getting theirs. And half of them wouldn't even get involved anyway. 20 million is not enough to fight a revolution. It's not going to happen. It's not enough. So the only way is through financial power. That's it. The only way you're going to get economic power in this country is through financial. You're going to get political power is through financial. Oh, we had a mixed race president who looked black. We had a mixed race president who had a black wife. Yay. Yay. You got one. You got a half Asian, because she's, I think, India. Her mama's from India, and her daddy is Jamaican. Half Asian, half black, mixed woman as the vice president. Yay. Yay. What does that mean? What is that doing? Is she in there pushing a crime, no lynching law? No, she ain't pushing that. Are they pushing for true economic equality? And for any of the white people who listen, the Caucasians who listen to this, understand. Because some of y'all are gonna be like, well, y'all are never gonna be satisfied. When are you gonna be satisfied? You just want. No. It's like Karl Marx said, we want an equal opportunity to prove how unequal we are. That's all any person ever wants. Everybody in this country, everybody in this world just wants to survive, have a happy life, live peacefully, live safe with security, be able to go out there and earn as much money as they have the talent and the desire to go out and learn. Because you gotta have talent and desire. More than just talent, you gotta have more desire and put that work ethic behind it. We just want an equal shot. We want a fair shot. They had a police cruiser going through this parking lot the other day. He going real slow. I'm sure that Ben next to me, who was a white guy, he probably saw it, had no anxiety about it at all. Me and one of my black customers in there, and we have anxiety. We want, what is he doing? What are they looking for? Why are they driving through here so slow? You know, what he typing in that computer? We got all this shit going through our mind. Why? Because we live in a country, we live in a police state where we know that there is a probability that if they encounter us, if he came in and encountered me, there's a higher probability that it's going to be hostile compared to if he went and talked to Ben. Go talk to Ben, it's going to be a regular conversation. And that's a problem. White people who listen to this don't understand that kind of feeling. This is why we got to get down with an African country, with multiple African countries. Adrian says that in Ghana, he received his paperwork to build a home there. We got to do that. We have to do that. You know, you can get, there's a city that I'm looking at in Ghana called Pom Pom. You can get a 4-bedroom, over 2,000 square foot home for like $174,000 in Pom Pom right now. Well, last year. It might be a little bit more now. All right. You think other people aren't going to take advantage of that? You think other races aren't going to, you think other nationalities are not going to take advantage of that? Shit. We have to take advantage of it. I bet you more than half of the people who are ever listening to this would be afraid. Well, I don't want to, I put my money over there. How I know it's going to be safe? How I know it ain't going to be, they ain't going to take my money? How I know that's in, I know a friend, I heard somebody, they what they do over there, they be scamming. You think they ain't scamming you here? You getting scammed here. Every day you get scammed here. A lot of y'all are paying higher interest rates on your home than you should be. The only reason I could have bought a house 3 months ago, but because I loaded up my credit card to open up this cigar lounge and it dropped my credit score by 100 plus points, I said I'll wait. I'll get my cigar lounge open. I'll knock that credit card down. Credit score will be back up to about 720 something. And then I'll go get me a prime or near prime rate loan. That way I'm not losing tens of thousands of dollars in interest. But many of you who do own a home, you're losing money in interest. That's money you could be saving. That's money you could be investing in a business. That's money you could invest in somebody else's business. You know, there was one, out of all the cigar bar owners in Atlanta, there's about 30 of them that I talked to, and all of them are black. Only one had a disagreeable personality towards me opening up a cigar lounge. And another person came to me who knows that person and was like, what he should have been saying is, how much money do I need to put in, since they know that industry and what it can make? How much money do I need to put in order to own a piece of that? So you ain't got to go start your own business. But if it's a business that's doing pretty well, the owner has good financial management, and they are looking to expand or grow or do something, or expand or grow, same damn thing. But they looking to do something like that, where's your $10, $15, $20,000 that you can say, hey, if I give you $20,000, let me get 15%. Let me get 15% on that. Where's that at? We're not rocking like that. We need to be. We need to be rocking like that. Because that's what they doing. That's what they doing. That's why y'all love them shows like Shark Tank. Think about it. That's what they do on Shark Tank. And I know your excuse is, well, they got millions of dollars. If they lose it, it ain't gonna hurt them. And I can't lose my money because I've been working hard for my money. I gotta keep my money. How you gonna grow if you can't take any risk? You have to be able to take risk. But the easiest risk for all of you to take is to be able to save 10% of what you make and buy a house. Then you can change it. Then we can change it. Then we can get bills and enforce them that other people are getting. I guarantee that Asian hate crime bill, when the next event happens, whomever does it, that person will get more time in prison or whatever the bill says that they're going to get. They will get a harsher punishment. Why? Because they will make sure that that crime bill is enforced. Let it not be enforced. They're going to raise high holy hell, and they're going to raise it economically. And the government is going to listen. The local government is going to listen. And the state and federal, they're going to listen because they have economic power. And that's what we're missing. We're missing the economic power. And that's what we have to do. Riddick says, still paying taxes on a home you're supposed to already own in America. Yeah, you're going to pay taxes. You never really own your house. All right, because you got to pay taxes every year. And if you don't pay taxes on it, they're going to take your house, and then it's going to go into probate court. And then in probate court, somebody's going to buy that tax lien. And in Georgia, it's a 1-year state. So after 1 year, that person then will own that home. That's one way you can build a real estate empire, is by buying tax liens. But there's some more research you got to do. You got to make sure that there are no local. You got to see if there are local liens on it. You got to see. And then when the next year's taxes come up, you got to be ready to pay the next year's taxes on it and any local liens. And then you can either flip that house, rent that house, move into that house, do whatever you like. But if you flip it or rent it, you can buy more tax liens through that same process. You can buy ones at the courthouse steps, or you can buy the ones that nobody bought at the courthouse step. You can just go straight by those and then continue to grow your economics, through a real estate venture, which is is one of the safest ways. How y'all doing? Y'all coming to see me?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to leave y'all alone. Y'all have a great day. I'll talk to y'all later. Remember, free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. And good vibration is good.